There we go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for your hard work and for having this hearing. Ms. Kordig, I'd like to ask you about one of the practices you referred to that was of concern in trying to speed up things but creating problems in the process, and that is forcing cases too quickly into the hands of judges. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more, please?
Yes, sir. When Secretary Shinseki resigned on May 30th, on June 2nd we got an email from Case Storage that said that they would start sending cases up with 2011, June 2011 and earlier docket numbers automatically. And this was a total change in the way we worked our procedure. What happened was that I believe that management found out that as soon as Secretary Shinseki was gone, that there may be some questions as to the cases languishing in case storage that had old docket numbers. So they started sending them up. What the problem was is that the judges, what the usual procedure was that they would ask us to order them cases whenever they needed them so that they could manage their own caseload. Well, now they're coming up whether they want them or not. Now that they have a system where if they have too many cases, they can say no. But at the beginning, they were coming up so quickly, they were giving them out to the attorneys, and the attorneys had 13, 14 cases assigned to them. Well, of course, they're going to be old by the time they start working them because they have such a big caseload.
So is that something that's no longer an issue today?
It is still an issue.
It's still an issue.
Yes, it is, sir. I have judges now that say, I don't want you to order any more cases. Tell them to stop the automatic deliveries for this week and next week.
So they're not really ready? They're not really ripe for a decision?
They are ripe for a decision, but the judge now cannot manage their own case flow, so they just keep coming at breakneck speed, and they have to keep giving them out, which bogs down the attorneys, and then it takes them a while to get the cases done. What they usually did was they came up gradually, of course, in docket order, and but then when the secretary resigned, then they were afraid that there would be too many old cases in case storage that were languishing because they weren't cherry-picked like they were for the Rocket Docket. So you had the box cases, the more than 3 issue cases coming up because they were old.
Okay. And on the Rocket Docket, it sounds like it was well-intended, a good idea, but there were unintended consequences. Is that how you would characterize it? Well,
I would characterize it as we needed to get 55,170 cases out, and this was a good way to do it. And but we're going to do it quickly because we don't want to be looking at the box cases and the cases that are more than 3 issues. So we'll just start cherry picking, and then that's when there became disarray in the case storage, because then you had old cases down there, cases that had been cherry picked that were old, that were coming up, but they were newer. Also, I would like to say that not part of the Rocket Docket, but however, cases that were taken out of docket order, say 2013 cases that should not have been taken up, were training cases for attorneys. So when new attorneys start, they get simpler cases, of course, to train, but those cases were coming up unchecked because a lot of them were not were out of docket order. So many of those cases were coming up for trainees that should not have been coming up.
Okay. Thank you for your testimony and for all of you being here today. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Lamborn. Mr. Takano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.